Hello and welcome to Talk Good Games. Just finished Brighton 1, West Ham United 0. And for a third time in a row, Brighton have beaten West Ham. They've now picked up 27.3% of their points in Premier League history against West Ham. Mike, we knew it was going to be a hard game going into this one, unless you call Tom Atherton in the preview. It took 25 minutes to get Brighton off the mark. Glenn Murray, I think it's his 5th goal in 3 games against us or something. He loves playing West Ham. But I always say on this show, show me a goal, I'll show you a mistake. Mike, where would you like to take the mistake from for this one?
Where do you start? I thought it was kind of all... I mean, to start with, how does Glenn Murray score so many goals? I mean, he's slow. He's like an old-fashioned centre-forward in the modern Premier League, and he scores loads of goals. He just is all... he just is in the right place at the right time, but... Yeah, I just thought that we looked vulnerable to him right the way through the game. We didn't seem to want to mark him particularly tightly. He's not fast. You can get close to him, but we didn't at all.
What about the goal itself, though, Mike? Quite a few errors in this one. Noble gives Yarmolenko a bit of a suicide pass, if you like, when 2 players around him. Yarmolenko doesn't do very well to hold on the ball, gives it away. They come down the left, and it was about 4-on-3 in Brighton's favour. Diop's pointing to Masuaku, telling him to get over and mark Murray, but Masuaku stands still for some reason while Diop picks up the runner. Ball comes in. There's Glenn Murray, the only Brighton striker on the pitch, in the middle of our 6-yard box on his own, and taps it in. 1-0 Brighton. Yeah,
I mean, the problem was when we lost the ball, wasn't it? I mean, it was just sloppy. We were playing pretty well until that point. It was that opening exchange, if you remember, was very end-to-end. It was almost like a basketball match, wasn't it? It was just going bang. And but I didn't think we looked like conceding. I thought we had them pretty much firmly in. But there you go. It's cost us the game. But yeah, it was a terrible pass from Noble. And you're right. There was Yarmolenko showed no, what would you call it, backbone at all. And from that point, we were in trouble. Masuaku should have moved in, shouldn't he? He should have moved in and taken up that space. But, I mean, at the end of the day, he just looks off the ball at the moment for me. Anyway, right the way through the game, I thought he did. And he didn't. And Murray, as you say, their only striker, Grease Lightning Murray, as I was pointing out earlier. And there he is. It's 1-0. I thought, for me, we conceded the goal. We lost the ball like that in their own half.
Yeah, I think we were just struggling to get the ball moving. I thought Brighton sat back. They looked at us and said, what are you going to do? We didn't really know what to do. Thought it was a lazy pass from Noble, but we'd been getting away. Both teams were getting away with lazy passes for the first 25 minutes. I thought you said we didn't look like conceding. I'll tell you what, I didn't think Brighton looked like conceding either. I thought it was quite a fair exchange. They were both probing away. And it was always going to be, the opening goal was always going to be from an individual piece of skill or an error by the other team, I think. And we decided to gift them it. It took 3 players to make an error, one after the other, unfortunately, for Brighton to score. But what Masuaku is doing for their goal, I have no idea. He's got no excuses. Diop physically points to Murray, turns his head, looks at Masuaku and points to Murray and says, you pick him up because I'm getting the runner because there's no one here. Diop goes off, doesn't look back. He just expects your experienced left back to know what to do. Masuaku he's got the whole pitch to look at. Masuaku. He's at the back post. He can see exactly what's happening in front of him. He's standing next to nobody, but he still doesn't think that he should maybe go with the guy in front of him who's standing there. But when you watch the goal get scored, once you watch them celebrate, this is what annoys me even more. Yarmolenko's on his knees, punching the turf, etc., because he knows he's messed up. Masuaku's literally standing there with his hands like this, going, like, what's going on? Like, what's just happened? I think it took about 5 minutes for Masuaku to realise there was 1-0 Brighton. I think we kicked off and he was still looking for Glenn fucking Murray. It was just embarrassing for
Masuaku's like one of those attitude schoolboys, isn't he? He's like, I am following your rules, man. I'm not going to do what you tell me. You tell me to go to him. Well, it's not my fault, man. I didn't do nothing. It weren't me. I weren't there. It weren't me. I didn't do what they scored. I don't know, man. It's not my problem. It's your problem. You know what I mean? It's just like, come on, man. Get a life. Yeah, as you pointed out. Diop's telling him where to go, telling him what to do, and he's not doing it. And we're a goal down. And I've got more to say, but I'll wait till you go on. Go for it.
Yeah, well, it went in at half-time 1-0, and Balbuena had West Ham's arguably his best chance until the 90th minute with a header at the back post from a corner, which could have done better, should have done better. And then West Ham decided to rattle through the changes as we didn't really create much, but despite having loads of the ball in the second half. Antonio came on for Obiang, Yarmolenko went off for Perez, and eventually Snodgrass came on for Mark Noble. And then right in the very last minute, Mike, we had that chance with Arnautovic. Perez does well, cuts it back to Arnautovic, who blazes it over. Those are the chances. You can't miss those chances in the Premier League. You miss that chance, you get punished for it. We've got punished for it tonight.
Yeah, so it was an interesting game. Okay, here's the thing. Obviously, I was on the preview. When I was watching, I was thinking, this is a very different game for us. Okay, our form suddenly turned around. Okay, recently, so you've got a situation where we beat Everton away. We drew at home with Chelsea, beat the team who were bottom of the entire Football League, and then beat Man United. They were all teams, especially as we were at Everton, who were going to come at us and try and win the game. I was really interested to see how we would do against a team that were going to come back and sit deep. We haven't played one of them yet since our form's turned around, and it flummoxed us. If you think, how many saves did Ryan make in the Brighton goal? I mean, none. Yeah, I can't remember one. Can you remember one?
Not a good one.
Chances. We missed some good goals. As you say, Arnautovic blazing over from about 3 feet, and that header from Balbuena, he should have got that. That's a free header. He should have got that on target. Were great chances, but other than that, Ryan, their defence and their defensive midfield shield, they were playing 5 at the back at one point with a defensive midfield shield in front of them, and we didn't show the enough imagination to get around it. And when we did, we were let down. There was a couple of times I remember Arnautovic getting around the side and cutting back, and the cutback was poor. And it was that final ball in, that we just lacked that extra bit of class. And for me, it showed where our weaknesses are. We can still beat a good team because they will attack us. But we need to get that right, because we've got a run of what you'd call favourable fixtures. The teams are going to look at us and go, we're going to sit deep, because our midfield play was awesome at times. I thought we kept the ball really well. We were passing it well. The build-up play was great. And we get to the point where we're going to do something incisive in the box, and it fell apart. They were always had someone there to pick the pass out and protect Ryan.
I agree with you. We were passing the ball about well, Mike, but the problem is Brighton let us pass the ball about. They weren't pressing us until we got to the final third. Then once we did get there, that's when Brighton went, well, now what are you going to do? Now we're coming at you. And when they did, I thought we struggled a little bit. They had better game management than us. The best example of it was when there was a scramble in the box and that Davy Propper went down. Got a knock on the rib and held his head, because he knew as soon as he holds his head, he knows the referee's got to stop the play. There was his team under pressure. He stopped the tempo just like that. We had a bit of momentum, and you could see it agitated our players, and as it would, it agitated our players. And I just thought that is the best way of killing a game completely. It's something we're lacking a bit. But in the first half, Anderson was far too wide. I thought we'd sorted this against Man U, etc. Anderson was coming in beside Arnautovic. Yarmolenko was coming. That neat triangle was there. In the first half, that was gone. We had Anderson. Their right back is 38 years old. He's 38 years old. I think I've seen him get skinned once. Now, I'm not saying we know what it's like having Zabaleta. I'm not saying he's a bad right back, but he's 38. We know what it's like if you put a fast winger up against Zabaleta. We see every week someone has a fast winger. We should have been doing the same. The geezer cruised through tonight. He was under no pressure. When we did go past him, it looked piss easy. But the problem was, as you said, the final ball was lacking. He's 38 years old. Why? I don't understand why we weren't just throwing everything at this guy to see what he's made of. And if after half an hour he is still coping, he might be. But I'll tell you what, he'll also be blowing out his bloody arse because he's been half an hour.
You could see he was physically waning at the end, wasn't he? For the last 20 minutes, especially, he was all over the place. And at that point, Anderson did decide to scoot past him a couple of times, but he should have been doing it for the whole game. Anderson's clearly really fit. I don't really understand. But then Masuaku, despite the fact that Pellegrini's pointing at him saying, get up the pitch, again, didn't want to follow instruction and wouldn't, because it's a pretty straightforward 2-on-1 a lot of the time if Masuaku moved his ass up the pitch, but he wasn't doing it. Anderson should still have beaten him anyway. I just felt we didn't show the kind of class that you need to pick apart a team that was defending that deep. They did to us what we did to Chelsea at the end of the day, didn't they?
I think there was a couple of errors here, but firstly, just to be fair to the show, there's probably a Brighton fan tuning in. I think it should have been 2-0 Brighton. I think their disallowed goal was onside. I thought the guy that put the ball in the back of the net was in line with Diop. So to be fair, I think they should have finished 2-0.
It was, yeah.
They carried out Chris Hughton's plan brilliantly. Actually, Chris Hughton would be proud of that performance now, rightly so, because we would do the same. It's like what we did against Chelsea, really. We set up on the edge of our box and thought, right, we'll get them on the counter. And Brighton looked good coming at us in the counter-attack. Glenn Murray knew exactly what he was doing. The amount of times I've seen him go over and stand beside Masuaku and wait for the ball because he knew he could physically dominate Masuaku. Against Diop and Balbuena, he's got a bit of a task on his hand. But go up against that fullback, he's winning that any single day. And Brighton kept using that outlet, and it was very smart to do. At one point in the game, Glenn Murray had won 8 headers. West Ham in total had won 10. He was just as good as our whole team in there. But Brighton were using it. They were using their strengths. I think we could play for another 45 minutes, Mike, and it would still be 1-0 Brighton. I couldn't see us scoring. I thought there was one at half-time. I was disappointed we didn't bring Snodgrass on. I'm not his biggest fan, but he is our best set-piece taker.
He's got it.
And in the first half, I thought we were getting plenty corners and we weren't making use of them. Anderson's corners are okay, but they're not perfect. They're better than no balls, but they're not perfect. I don't like them. But Snodgrass's corners are on the money every single time. I just thought, we're 1-0 down. We're going to see so much of the ball now. And set pieces is probably where we're actually going to need to hit them. So why we wouldn't bring on our best set piece taker until the 82nd minute or something, I don't know. And then this is what annoyed me as well. We got a free kick just outside our box, and our best free kick taker did not take it. Arnautovic decided to take it. Now we get he's in form. I get he's probably competent. But that's where you have to put the team first. The team comes before I. And unfortunately, Arnautovic isn't our best free kick taker. It's Snodgrass. And I think that was a very, very a big error from us tonight.
Yeah, we had a number of really good free kick positions, didn't we? And they were all hopelessly over the bar. And I agree with you. I'm not a huge fan of Snodgrass at all. But bringing Antonio on before him was a little bit puzzling. I would have put Snodgrass on at that point. Snodgrass is the change of pace player as well, isn't he? I mean, look, he offers something different to what we have out. When you bring Antonio on, you're bringing on more of the same, but not technically as good. You know what I mean? You're not bringing a ball. If at least you bring Snodgrass on, you're bringing set piece taker on. You'll bring someone who's got technical ability. He isn't that quick. But then at that point when Antonio came on, we had a load of quick players out there. And quickness hadn't got us in, had it? We needed a touch to get us in at this point. You know what I mean? Either the set play or the really good threaded pass through that's going to open them up. And Snodgrass is the one who could have done that for us. And you're right. It screamed, even if he didn't come out half time, after on the hour would have been a good point to bring him on. I didn't agree with any of the substitutions and the times that were made, to be honest with you. I didn't agree with Antonio coming on. Perez offered very little. And each time we seemed to take a player off who I thought was doing all right. I thought Obiang was doing okay. I was baffled by Noble coming off. Do you know what I mean? And because the minute he came off, we lost that ability to ping the ball around in midfield, albeit not under that much of a press. What do you think?
Well, I think the Noble one, there was 10 minutes ago. I think he just had to take off Noble or Rice and get Snodgrass on. You couldn't take off an attacking player and put Snodgrass on. And I think getting someone on the centre midfield, Snodgrass also brings a graft about him. And that's what we were lacking in the first half. We didn't have any of that menace about us that we've seen against Man U, Chelsea. I thought we had it in the first 2 minutes. I think it was a Brighton player played a short pass to another defender, and Anderson was right on it. They had the boot out for a throw, and I thought, oh, this is good. That was it. I didn't see any pressing or that after that, and I was a bit disappointed. But Snodgrass would bring that, and I thought if he came on, it would maybe inspire the rest of the team to get a rocket up their arse and start doing it as well. I don't know why Antonio come on, though. I'm a bit confused by that one because we weren't missing brute strength. We were missing someone with a little bit of quality to do something. And at halftime, I've tweeted out I would have took Obiang off at halftime. I know you just said you should have left them on, but I felt we don't need 3 centre midfielders anymore. We're 1-0 down. Brighton are going back, get one of them off and get an attacking player on. I also thought Obiang was suffering from his tackle on Glenn Murray. I just thought he was a little bit quiet after that tackle. That's all. Okay. And I thought, let's get him off.
We'll have a point there. Yeah, he did. Let's get Obiang
off. He's not done anything wrong. Let's get him off. Get a more attacking player on. And again, because of the set piece, I would put Snodgrass on. But someone said to me, "Oh, take Yarmolenko off." Now, why I don't think he had an amazing game, the thing with Yarmolenko is I think he can pull a rabbit out of a hat like that. I think he's got it. There was at one point him and Anatovich should have 1-2 in the edge of their box, and it didn't quite come off, but he's got that audacity to play the through ball into the middle of the box. He's got his head up, and I just thought when you took that off, I felt we lost a little bit of our risk going forward. While he wasn't on the ball all the time, I thought he's always looking to cut inside and get a shot off. And Antonio, I mean, he's going to get a lot of critics. We haven't got beat tonight because of Antonio, but there was at one point he took a shot from quite far out, it flew over the bar. Then he was out on the wing, off balance, and he decides to try and cross it with his weak foot while he's off balance in the first place, and it flies behind the goal. I mean,
remember that, yeah.
He had a bit of a stinker tonight.
Well, the thing about it as well is when you take Yarmolenko off, I mean, whatever you say about Yarmolenko, I really like him as a player. You're right, he's got that he can pull the rabbit out of the hat thing, but also he terrifies the other team because they know that. So they tend to double and triple up on him. You noticed he gets the ball, there's 2 or 3 players around him instantly. They're not going to do that to Antonio. Yeah, they're not going to double and triple up on him. So they've got more room now to spread out around the rest of the attack. And Yarmolenko's got the ability to chip it over those players and find that bit of space across the ball, whatever. And now what we've now got is those 2 or 3 players are being spread out amongst the other of our players who can do some damage to them. And that's the thing you lose when you take Yarmolenko off. I would have personally left him on. I mean, Perez maybe, I don't know. I've not seen enough of him. But Antonio, I get why he would be a good substitution, but that isn't the game. He's a good substitution when we're under the cosh and you need to get someone to carry the ball out. That's when he's a good substitution. You can give him the ball, he can kick it past the last defender and run after it. And even if he doesn't score, it's probably going to be a corner, or we've taken the ball right down the other end of the pitch. So that's when he's a good substitution, not when we're chasing the game and they're sitting back. He's not that player.
Unless you stick him in the box and tell him to stay in the box, just head the bloody ball, but not to be the one providing the ball into the box. He's not good enough. He's not composed enough. And you can see the difference between Yarmolenko and Antonio when they both get the ball at their feet. One takes a touch and does something, usually keeps possession. The other one's just so erratic that you can tell his teammates are getting frustrated with him. 5 minutes ago, he's taking shots from 25 yards out. You know, it's the most frustrating thing ever to play with. But Mike, let's start wrapping this one up. I mean, we've lost tonight. Are you angry that we've got beat? Are you a bit pissed off with the performance, or are you trying to remain calm? The fact that Brighton is a hard place to go. They've never lost 2 Premier League games at home in a row, and they lost the last one, just for the record. They only lost 3 games there last season, so it's a tough place to go. But we didn't look like scoring tonight, Mike.
We didn't, but as I say, I'm not angry. I had a feeling we were going to struggle. I really did have a feeling we were going to struggle tonight, and for the reason I said earlier, which is like that we've yet to really encounter a team that were going to sit back. And once they'd scored, they really sat back, and they crowned that area. It's a new puzzle for us. It's still a new team developing, and I know we've been using that as an excuse for a while, but it is, and that was a new, almost like puzzle piece for us to have to pull apart. I'm a little bit annoyed at some of the substitutions, as we've discussed, and I'm disappointed, but I'm not angry. I thought if you look at how well we played at times in the game, we should have got something out of that. I'm not saying we should have won, but I thought we played well enough to get a point. We look assured on the ball, but having said that, as I said, Ryan didn't really make a save, did he? So we didn't make enough chances, and we didn't create enough there. And at least we were trying to play football, which is something we didn't do last season at all. We were trying to play the West Ham way, whatever that is, but you know what I mean? We were having a go at trying to outplay them. So I would rather we did that, even if we've come out short, than we nicked a point from some smash and grab run, because I'm a West Ham purist, a bit of an idiot probably for saying that. But I mean, ultimately, I'm disappointed. I'm not angry about it, but I am disappointed because I think on paper we've got better players and we're a better team.
I'm disappointed. I'm not angry because I did think tonight would be a struggle. I predicted a win but I wasn't as optimistic as other 2 people on the preview, Gonzo and Tom, for example. I thought tonight would be difficult. I'm just disappointed. I'm more frustrated at we turned up with plan A and it didn't really seem to have a plan B until it was really late on. I mean, I think everyone knows in football if Brighton are going to go 1-0 up, they are going to retreat. And it just felt like we still continued with our plan to play Brighton at 0-0 was the same as we played Brighton at 1-0 them. And I just thought, that's not right, though. You need to change it. And that's why at half-time, Pellegrini had 25 minutes, Brighton scored. Pellegrini had 20 minutes to come up with a plan B for half-time to think, right, I'm going to take him off, put him on, I'm going to tweak it up a bit. But there was none of that, and we came out with the same plan. I'll tell you what, Chris Hughton must have been a very relieved man coming out of the second half, seeing that we've made no changes. He thought, well, we were comfortable the first half, so if all you're going to do is keep doing what you're doing, we're going to see this game out of here. And I just think if we had done something at half-time, Chris Hughton might have come out and thought, oh, bugger, they've changed up a bit here. This is going to be a little bit different. And I just can't get over that their 38-year-old right-back who literally needed an energy boost with 20 minutes to go. A ball boy had to go around and give him something to see him through the last 20
yeah.
Right?
Probably a vial of cocaine, wasn't it?
Also, the whole team was off today. There were some players that get excused. I think Diop and Balbuena, for example, didn't do anything wrong. They weren't tested enough. I wouldn't say they had a good game. They didn't have a bad one. Rice, I would include in that. Maybe Noble as well. They just didn't have. But then saying that, Noble gave Yarmolenko a suicide pass. But our attacking players were off of it. They didn't create any chances between them. But the one... It's Masuaku's, which is really frustrating me for that goal. It's schoolboy error, what he's done there, just standing there watching it. And then when Antonio come on, he's just not a Pellegrini player, and it's just so disappointing tonight. It's just a bit frustrating because we had momentum. We've now got an international break. And I don't think we deserved a point, Mike. I'm going to disagree with you here because did Brighton deserve the win? If you look at the stats, no, but their game plan worked perfectly. And if we had won that game, we'd be sitting here saying, actually, our game plan worked perfectly. Score the goal, get back, and see the game out. And they've done that perfectly. You tell yourself the keeper made no saves.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, you could say that. But I wonder because it's not just having the game plan, it's the execution of the game plan. I wonder if we did have a slightly different game plan in the second half and we didn't execute it that well. I wonder if there was a plan B, which was a variation of plan A, if you like. Play plan A.1 or whatever you want to call it, and we didn't execute it particularly well. Pellegrini started looking really frustrated. I got the impression they weren't doing what he wanted them to do per se. I think before this game, a lot of people saying, well, not everyone deserves to keep their place. I'm really now looking at Masuaku in this game. I really think he is the person out of that first 11 that really is pushing the limits of can he really be in that team now. You've got, especially as we've got a very able left back who sat there who could come in Creswell. And I'd be tempted to put Creswell in, but never mind, we've got an international break and everything coming on. But I'm wondering whether, as I say, it's not just the game plan, it's the execution of it. I don't think we executed it very well. We did create enough chances. We missed them as opposed to make the goalkeeper save. Both Balbuena and Arnautovic between the two of them, one of those should have gone in. That's my point. Do you know what I mean? We did have those chances. We don't, as a team, we tend to dominate the ball without creating hundreds of chances anyway. You look at the amount of shots we had on goal in the last 3 or 4 games and how many goals we scored, they're remarkably similar. You know what I mean? So we should have put, for that to work again, one of those had to go in today. Having said that, we should have created more from the amount of possession we had. Well played, Brighton. I'm not taking anything away from them. They had a game plan. They stuck to it. They executed it well. They've got a lot of pace on the break, though we seem to deal with it reasonably well. And you're right. They should have had another goal. Murray was offside, but he didn't touch the ball, did he? It was the guy who did put it in was level, wasn't he? I thought anyway.
Yeah, I thought it was onside as well. We played into Brighton's hands tonight, or because she got spot on. I think tonight was one of those games. It's all about who gets the first goal. Who gets the first goal wins. I know that you can say that's usually what happens in football, if you like, but they made it so difficult. And I think if it was 0-0 at half time, I really would have fancied us going on to win that game because Brighton at home would have felt the pressure to come at us a bit more and try and go for 3 points, and it would have opened the game up a bit. But because it was 1-0 so early, just played right into Brighton's hands. But Mike, thank you very much for joining us. We're not going to bother with man of match tonight because I don't think anyone. It doesn't feel right. I think everybody played poor. the last few games I've said everybody's been a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Tonight, I think there might be 1 or 2 players a 7 out of 10. The rest were 6 and 5s, and maybe even a 4 for 1 or 2 of them. But I think you can guess which 2 I would pick. But there you have it. Brighton, 27.3% of their Premier League points in history have come against West Ham United, with 18% of their wins in Premier League history coming against West Ham United.
That is a great stat, isn't it? We hate playing them.
That was a way to say it's a great stat, but I might have got. I know I've got the right way around. 18% of points, 27% of wins. Mike, thank you very much for joining us. I'll see you again shortly. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us at home. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Leave your comments below. Are you pissed off, or are you a bit like me and Mike, disappointed, but you can understand why we didn't pick up anything at the Amex Stadium tonight? But West Ham lost the game ahead into the international break. Subscribe if you're new around here, and we'll see you very soon.